What's up, Zoe?
You.
All right, y'all. We're about to get started in a second. What's up, everybody on YouTube? Everybody get started. I want to make sure we got my man Lorenzo taken care of. We missed him last time. I know he wanted to. I want to make sure he gets the Zoom link. All right. So I asked how you all were doing in the class. JJ said really enjoying. Just want to make sure I got it and can perform. Lee, Ari, how are you all feeling about the class? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? You all are on week 4. You're ending week 4. And if you ask me, I think you all are doing pretty good.
I definitely will say we're doing good because you are a great teacher, and it's been fun so far.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And it's gonna get a lot more fun. Hopefully you guys think I'm a great teacher when I start playing devil's advocate.
Oh Lord.
Believe me, he will.
Elmer found his way. Elmer, I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you got the Zoom link, but you did it, man. I think I sent it to you though. All right. So
Yeah.
Say that again.
I say we're good. We're good.
All right, perfect. Lorenzo's locked in. All right. All right, perfect, y'all. So what we are going to be doing today, we are going to be setting up our own virtual machine. Specifically, we're going to install Kali Linux on our VMs. Okay. And somebody asked earlier, I can't remember the exact question, but let me see if I can find it. Someone asked, can you explain how a VM really works? So a virtual machine, first, its purpose. It can be used for a variety of purposes. A virtual machine can be used for a variety of reasons. For our purposes, we need a test machine. We need something to play around with, something where we can use Nmap, the port scanner, something where we also have access to a protocol analyzer like Wireshark, something where we also have access to a vulnerability scanner like OpenVAS, and that something is Kali Linux. So a VM, the way it works, a hypervisor 2 VM, it uses your operating system. It leverages the resources and the memory that your operating system has, your local laptop has, to create a virtual computer. Okay, so it's a computer within a computer, and we're actually going to create it now. Okay. Does anybody have any questions before we get started? Let me make sure I can see the chat for the YouTube. Somebody was going to say something. I'm sorry.
You have a question. So when it comes to downloading things like Burp Suite, Wireshark, and stuff like that, would you suggest doing it mainly on a VM, or is it okay to do that on your personal computer?
It's a preference thing. It's a preference thing. It depends on what you're comfortable with doing. Now, I personally would not set these things up on my personal systems because I'm using Kali Linux, like tools in Kali Linux, like Burp Suite, the pen test. So I don't want to potentially turn my local laptop or my local machine into a victim. That answer your question?
That was perfect. Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions before we set up Cali? Questions are good, y'all. Please don't be afraid, ever. I mean, that's just a life thing, but don't be afraid to ask me questions, please. All right. So let's get started here. So to create this virtual machine, we need a virtual manager. We need something to put the virtual machine in. Does anybody have any idea or any clue as to what virtual managers exist? So we have two. Well, we have a few actually. We have more than two. The one we're going to use is called VirtualBox because it's free. So first thing we're going to do, and you can follow along with me if you want to. This is also going to be recorded, so I'm not going to slow this down too much, right? Don't want to keep everybody up. So we're going to download VirtualBox first. Okay, VirtualBox is what we are going to use to manage our VM, manage our virtual machine. Okay, so we're going to go to virtualbox.org, and under virtualbox.org, we're going to see this big blue button that says download VirtualBox. Let's go ahead and click that. Okay, once we get here, we're going to be presented with a page to select which type of VirtualBox package we want. And it's going to depend on your operating system. Since I am using a Windows operating system at the moment, I'm going to select the Windows host package. If you are using a Mac, you're going to select the Mac OS package. Linux, you're going to select the Linux distributions. But since I'm using Windows, I'm going to select this. I already have VirtualBox on my machine, so I'm not going to, I'll select it, but I'm not going to reinstall it. So that's the first part of this madness here of setting up our virtual machine. The second step is getting the actual operating system. We said we were going to use Kali Linux, right? Because it comes pre-built with a bunch of cool security tools. Well, we have to go to kali.org to get that operating system. So you can open up another tab and just type in kali.org. It's going to take us over to Kali. You should see a similar homepage to what's on my screen. And then afterwards, we're going to select downloads. Just select the overall tab, downloads. Now, here we're supposed to be selecting a Kali Linux operating, an image, an ISO file. And you can, if you want to really personalize your Kali Linux operating system, but I'm going to take you through maybe a more efficient way of setting up your VM. So instead of using these ISO files, we are going to use an OVA file. And the OVA files, I'll explain the difference after we set it up. I think it'll be easier to see the difference. So let's select this first one here, Kali Linux 64-bit. Okay, if I select this, I'm going to open it up in a new tab. And then I'll see more options of Kali Linux to download. I don't want these right here, VMware images, because that's a different virtual manager. We want VirtualBox images. I actually like VMware better than VirtualBox, but VirtualBox is completely free. So I figured everybody might want to use a free one. Somebody said I just downloaded 2 OVA files. Kali and Metasploitable. That's dope. That's dope. So go ahead and download this. This may take a while. I've already have it downloaded. But the OVA, so the ISO, if you were to do it this way with an ISO, which is the way I typically prefer, you get to customize your operating system. Okay, but a lot of entry level folks, it may be too boring, or it may be too confusing, or you may just run into a lot of issues trying to customize it, which is why the OVA way is usually a preferred method for some people, because you don't have to worry about customizing it. You don't have to worry about your disk and how do you want to partition your disk. It's all of that is going to be taken care of for you. Every single last thing. Say that again. Somebody had a question? Oh, maybe somebody accidentally unmuted. So with that being said, I already have the OVA file downloaded, and I also have VirtualBox, which Kali to download. So let's download this one. Download this one. Kali 64-bit, if you're using Windows 64-bit operating system. You just select this tab right here. It's going to bring you here. Perfect. Select this OVA. So yours may take a little bit of time to download. It depends on how fast your connection is. All right, so I already have VirtualBox set up. Okay, you're gonna have to go through the setup process, and it's straightforward. Okay, the setup process is very straightforward. I did not pick any advanced features. I just selected next, 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 until it was time for me to select finish. This has a free trial, or is it free? This is completely free. VirtualBox is free. And I think that's the main reason I picked it, because it's free. I'm not a fan of VirtualBox. I'm not a fan of VirtualBox. I throw that out there, but it is completely free, and I think it's a great tool to use starting out. I like VMware better. I don't know if VirtualBox has changed in the past, but with VMware, I can store multiple snapshots, and you remember what snapshots were. So I can recover my instances from multiple points of time. VirtualBox, I don't think you can do unlimited snapshots. And then I just like the layout of VMware. It's like a web browser where you have multiple tabs. Over here, VirtualBox, all of your VMs are gonna pop up here, and they'll be bulky. And I mean, it's a preference thing, honestly. I guess I'm weird. So once you finish setting up VirtualBox, and it's a straightforward setup, just hit next, 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 and hit create, install, finish. We are going to import our OVA. Okay, we're going to import it. We're going to select that import button. I'll do it again. This import button right here. Okay, and then we're going to select our OVA file. I'm going to select this option, this button that looks like a file. And I'm going to go to where I downloaded it. Just right here. I'm going to select that, double click it, and then I will hit next and import. And some of you may not see the software license agreement option. Some of you may, but just select agree. And this right here will take some time for it to do its thing. Well, we got a lot of people in here. I didn't see all that. This right here would take some time for it to do its thing. Bobby, quick question. Now, why would you use, since you asked me, I want to see what your answer is. Why would you use a virtual machine? What's a reason? There's no wrong answer. There's multiple reasons out there.
I would want to, just like you said, keep things off of my personal. I don't know if network will be the right word to use, but keep things off of
It's
my
the right.
personal
That's
board.
the right word. Yep.
Yeah, so that I'm, if I am vulnerability scanning, pen testing, or anything like that, or somebody sees me and wants to target me specifically, I could keep it in the VM and just end the instance so that they're not actually escaping to my personal computer and compromising my own end system.
Okay. I like that answer. And what type of virtual machines do we have out there? What type of hypervisors, if you remember?
I remember one, two, three, and four, I think, but I know something's like bare metal and
Hmm.
true. Um,
Anybody want to throw them a bone?
yeah, please, somebody.
We got two hypervisors, two of them, but we made up some extra ones. But we have two. Hypervisor one, which what Bobby was talking about, the bare bone, the metal one, and hypervisor two, the one, the virtual machines we're using right now. Um, hypervisor two operating or VMs, they require an operating system like Windows operating system in order for it to run. Okay. So we're using an operating system. We're using our host machine to run this virtual machine. JJ, do you think a VM would be a nice test machine to analyze malware?
Yeah, it'd be a good machine to analyze malware because even if you can't uh, even if you in a way lose to it, it doesn't affect your actual system.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Is anybody else downloading this at the same time? JJ, I think you are.
Yeah, I'm downloading it, but it's taking a while. So
Yeah, you're probably,
you can
I
go
don't know
ahead.
if you're still on the OVA or not.
Yeah, I'm VirtualBox is still setting up, and then Kali Linux is still downloading.
Yeah, I figured it does take a while. Um,
Yeah, mine's taking forever too.
I got everything downloaded, but the application that Kali Linux is not recognized on my computer, and so when I'm trying to import it, I don't see it anywhere. So that's the only part I'm trying to get through right now.
okay, I may have to work with you one-on-one to troubleshoot that.
Gotcha.
All right, so after it's been successfully imported, y'all, okay, we're gonna start this up, and I want you to see something. All right, I want you to see something. We're gonna try and start it up, I should say. You can double click it like I just did, or you can hit this button. I think it was green before it grayed out. But that's gonna try. It's gonna try to start up our virtual machine. Sandbox. Yes, 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 yes. Ari said sandbox. Why do you think this is a sandboxed environment, Ari?
I would say it gives you that opportunity to experiment and just play around with the different tools you have to utilize to prepare yourself to manage malware or like interact with malware.
Exactly. Exactly. And it keeps your local machine, your local laptop, the one that you physically have control of, it keeps that safe, right? Instead of you blowing the malware up on your computer or analyzing the malware on your computer, you can analyze it in a sandboxed environment, an environment that just can't physically escape to your machine. Well, theoretically. So I don't know if y'all noticed, I tried to start up my VirtualBox and I got this error message. A lot of people, when they see this error message, they just throw VirtualBox away and they switch over to VMware. but it's an easy switch or easy fix. Let's X this out, right? Let's go to settings, this gear icon, and we're going to come down to USB, and we're going to uncheck enable USB controller. Okay, that's all we have to do. We're going to uncheck that. I'll hit the start button here this time, and hopefully she starts up. Okay, but that's a good analysis, Ari. Joe, I think were you about to say something? My bad. Yep, and it's starting up now. Now, if you've used an OVA file like Kali before, and you've used the ISO files, you will see the difference here. Typically, when you use the ISO file, which we didn't, we have to go through the setup. You know, we got to pick our time zone, we got to pick our network, we got to pick the domain, we got to create some user accounts and a few other things, but we don't have to now. It's already created for us. And then on top of that, if you use the ISO files, you still have to install VirtualBox Guest Editions. What the heck is VirtualBox Guest Editions? Well, watch this. If I try to expand this, do you see how the screen is just so small? Well, VirtualBox has a feature called Guest Editions, which is going to allow you to expand this. If you use the ISO, you have to separately install the VirtualBox Guest Edition. With this OVA, all we have to do is log in and it should change it for us. Now, we didn't create a username and password, but it came with the OVA. It's Kali as a username and Kali as a password. I'm gonna hit enter. And I'm gonna close this stuff out. And look at that. Hopefully it cleans up the wallpaper for me. It's still loading up. And this is our Kali Linux operating system. Now I'm gonna change this wallpaper because it's throwing me off. All I did was right click the desktop and then I selected desktop settings. Then I get a bunch of these options. I just want a solid background. Guys are scaring me with this stuff. And I'll probably make my icons a little bit bigger. Switch over to the icons tab. You don't have to, just preference. Now, one thing I do want you all to do is create a user account for you, okay? And I'm gonna walk you through that process right now from the command line. I'm going to open up a terminal. It's this icon right here. Don't know if you can see that. This one. So I'm going to select terminal. If I can get this out my way. This may be a little small. Here, let me open it up. See, these are like little reasons why I like to personalize my own VM, but the OVAs are good to go. So what I'm going to do, and feel free to watch this video later again to keep up with the commands. I'm simply going to add a new user. Okay, I'm going to use the add user command. And then I'm going to type in a username, cyber, and hit enter. And it says, only root may add a user or group to the system. JJ, Bobby, Ari, Lee, Lorenzo, Jeremiah, can y'all tell me what root is? Like what is root? It's the who?
Administrator.
The administrator? There we go. That's the administrator version. Admin for Linux. There you go. There you go. Good job, y'all. They're talking in the chat if y'all don't see that. Root is admin for Linux, and it's saying, hey, if you want to use this add user command, you need to be root. So how do I escalate my privileges? Pseudo. Pseudo is going to tell the terminal to use my root privileges, use my superpowers. So I'm going to run sudo, then add user, and then the username. And the terminal is going to ask me for my password. Okay, the terminal is going to ask me for my password. Why? Because it wants to make sure that I'm authorized to be using root privileges. What is my password again? Callie. Now, it is allowing me to set up credentials for my new user, Cyber. Okay, so I have to type in a password for Cyber. Please keep in mind, you will not see the password as you're typing it, and you will have to retype it to confirm it. Then it's going to ask you for some additional information, which you don't have to enter. I'm just going to skip it all. Yes, it's correct. I just hit enter. And now I have a new user. So I'm going to log out. I don't know if you see this log out button right here at the top right. I'm actually just going to switch users. I'm going to log into my Cyber account. And that should log us in shortly. Don't worry about that error message at the top. I'm probably going to get logged in with the weird looking background again, now that I think about it. Yeah. How did you escalate your privileges again? I did it using the sudo command. And I'm going to show you something. Give me 1 second. I just got to get this background fixed, man. It's too much going on. Okay. All those patterns just throw me off. All right, so I use the sudo command. All right, so watch this. I'm on a different user account. I'm on Cyber now. So let me see if I can add another user with my Cyber account. I'm going to do sudo add user and just say test. It's going to ask me for my password. Why? Because it wants to make sure, the terminal wants to ensure that I'm authorized to take this action. But guess what? Cyber is not in the pseudowars file, which means I am not a part of that group that can use the sudo command. Obviously, you may want your account that you create to have sudo command, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, but I wanted you to see this so you can understand that sudo is a group. What type of access control list are we referencing with a pseudo group? Anybody? Ari, Bobby, Jeremiah? Are we using Mac? Are we using DAC? Are we using RBAC? What are we using? There we go. Yes, 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 yes. Role-based access controls, because pseudo is a group. So all I'm going to do is switch over back to my Kali machine, but I'm going to do it from the terminal. All right, and I'm going to do that with the letters SU for switch user. And I'm going to follow it by Kali or with Kali. Type in my Kali password. I am now Kali. And I'm going to type in a command to add my Cyber user into the sudos group. So it's going to be sudo user mod -a uppercase G space the name of the group sudo followed by the name of the user Cyber. Now, obviously, since I'm using my sudo powers, the terminal wants to make sure I'm authorized, but it's the password. Now, Cyber can do sudo commands. He now has sudo powers. And we can verify that. I'm going to verify that. I'm going to hit exit. I'm going to type in exit to go back to my Cyber user and leave or exit my Kali user. If I type in who am I, you see that I am cyber again. Now, what command did we try to do last with cyber? If I just hit the up arrow a few times, it takes us back to our last command. And we tried to add a user, sudo add user test. Let's try it again. It wants our password. The last time we gave it our password, it said we weren't allowed to log in, or we weren't allowed to use sudo. Oh, I need to restart the computer. I forgot, but I'd rather not restart it right now during Cyber Thursday. So once you restart your machine, that sudo file will go into effect. All right, anybody have any questions? Shit, I'm just here for the virtual machine. Funny, JJ. Yeah, definitely go back and watch it again later. Once your systems are downloaded. I'm gonna have to watch the video for this part. Yeah, for sure. Definitely go back once you have all your programs downloaded and you're ready to install it. But this is typically how we would install a virtual machine. Okay, so now that we got that done, what I'd like to do for like the next 15 minutes is do some Pbqs. So we got a few students in here who are getting ready for the exam. So I definitely want to challenge them. Usually for our new folks, Cyber Thursdays, the first half is usually some hands-on activity, or we're doing a recap from one of our previous classes. And then the second half, if we have time, we like to challenge people with some Pbqs. So we're gonna switch gears. I'm going to share. And we're gonna start here. And I actually want to give this to Lorenzo. I'm gonna start off with Lorenzo today, man. You got your mic, Lorenzo? We good to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me give everybody a quick FYI or refresher. Remember when we go through these questions for Comptia questions, we usually want to use what they give us. Typically, we don't add more logic to the question. Alex can testify to that. He passed his Security Plus a few weeks ago. Alonzo can testify to that. And anybody else in here who's Security Plus certified, they will let you know that you do not add more logic into these questions. All right. If they're generic, good night, Jeremiah. Thanks, man. You have a good one. If they're generic questions, that's okay. It's like that intentionally. So use what they give you. Don't add more to it. All right, Lorenzo, this is yours, man. Take your time. And anybody else, feel free to send your answers in a private message. Don't give the answer to everybody. All right. Yeah, Lee, don't worry. In my class, November 9th class, we were just creating this virtual machine for people to have get extra practice testing it out. All right, so don't beat yourself up too much if you don't understand everything that was going on. Okay, I see some answers coming in. Let me see. Bo, you answer yet? I'm looking for some answers from you too. You too, Fred. I see you in here. Trying to hide. I got you. I'm on to you, Fred. All right, Bobby. Okay. Good job. Right. All right. These are the questions that we are going to have fun with later. So you guys get a sneak peek. What we got, Lorenzo?
Oh, I typed it in the.
Oh,
But I mean,
sorry, I missed it. Help me walk us through it.
so I saw SQL Query, and so I went with the SQL injection.
Okay.
I saw that, and this off of the strength of not trying to add anything extra into the question.
Okay.
I put that. This one was a little stuck on. Put on the web server, but I'm trying.
You put it over here?
I did, but I'm thinking. I was stuck between the web server and the database server.
Okay, why? Why are we stuck between them? What's up?
I know. So I know the SQL is this, basically just like commands or characters. If I remember correctly, it's like you're injecting, trying to just disrupt a function or
Right. And with the SQL, so you were right. You're right with the attack. You were able to identify the correct type of attack because you saw this SQL query right here. Okay, and what the SQL queries are typically trying to do, they're trying to extract data from a SQL database. Okay, because SQL queries are meant for SQL databases, right? So they're entering, or an attacker is entering this query into an open field, hoping that a SQL database responds back to it.
So that would be on the database server now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
Now, how are we stopping this bad guy?
I would say database. You can so I don't think it's IDS.
Okay. Why not IDS?
Infusion Detection. I don't think that is, because that's more towards a firewall, right?
Right. And does it prevent?
And doesn't prevent, it doesn't prevent a SQL injection. Same thing with defense in depth. Well then, I don't see defense in depth doing it as well.
Okay. So let's do this. What is full disk encryption?
Full disk encryption. That's you're just encrypting. Is that something to do with like the RAID?
So full disk encryption is when we're encrypting our disk. Okay, your data that's on your computer or on your databases, they're being stored on disk. So full disk encryption is encrypting that disk. If you want to access that disk, if you want to access data on that disk, you need a password, you need a key.
Yeah.
That's full disk encryption. What is password complexity?
That's just for, I mean, that's just trying to strengthen your, your credentials, so just to make it more complex. So that's something along the line with password complexity is with the length, the characters, just trying to strengthen your password.
Right. Make it more complex with alphanumeric characters, make it longer.
Yeah.
Right. Have an expiration date. Right. That's password complexity. IDS does what?
That just detects what's going through your network.
Right. It detects what's coming through the IDS. That's all. It detects and it alerts based off of signatures, based off of behavior, based off of anomalies. Okay. Defense in depth can be anything. Now, you said this attack was a SQL injection attack because we saw SQL queries going through its table, right?
Yeah.
And a SQL injection attack is an attack where we are sending SQL queries to get data from a SQL database.
Yeah.
Right? Is password complexity going to stop me from inserting SQL queries into an open field and getting data from your database?
No.
Okay. Is full disk encryption going to stop me from inserting a SQL command in this comment field?
No.
And getting data? No, it's not. What about an IDS?
No.
So with the process of elimination,
you got to go
stuck with defense in depth. Why? Because we can have a web application firewall. Right? We can also have proxies.
Yeah.
Right? We can also use stored procedures. Right? All these things right here can stop a SQL injection attack. Multiple layers of defense. Good job, man. All right, we got time for one more. Got to do it in the right order. Let's do this one. Let's see who else we got in here. Bobby, you want to take a stab at this? Or Elmer? Elmer, you want to take a stab at this? I haven't picked on you yet, Elmer. I don't know if Elmer's mic is even working right now. Bobby, you want to take a stab at this real quick?
Somehow in my heart, I knew it was coming. Right, let me read it.
Oh, man. Oh, Elmer's reading it. My bad. All right, y'all both can do it. Y'all both do it. Both do it. And while they're reading it, all our new folks, welcome to Cyber Thursdays. We do this every Thursday from 9:35 to about 10:30, 10:35. Different things, different days. We may be going through man in the middle attacks, maybe doing some ARP poisoning, maybe some Mac spoofing, creating firewalls. As you can see this week, we're going over some virtual machine stuff and some more Pbqs. And if you're having a hard time answering these questions or using the fundamentals like we're doing, I definitely advise you to sign up for our next class starting January 25th. All right. Our class is not just geared towards getting you Security Plus certified. We're getting you ready for career employment, career advancements. So once you get certified, we'll hook you up with one of our special handy dandy recruiters from Tech Systems, and they will work with you and try to help you develop your resume and your interview skills for the market. So definitely sign up for that class. 10 seats per class. It's limited. Hopefully we see you there. Hopefully that gave you guys some time, Bobby and Elmer. I tried to stall for you, man. Yep. Yes. I did. That's what I said. Yep. We have a career development aspect to our classes. It's not just about getting you certified. That's one of our goals, but another goal is to get you employed. And we do have a relationship with Tech Systems to help you out with that. No, it's not an extra charge. That comes with the class. Yeah, they're killing me today, man. Yes, because the class is Monday through Thursday. It is Monday through Thursday from 8:15 p.m. to 9:35 p.m. This is Eastern Standard Time. Yep. And we will have Cyber Thursdays. Cyber Thursday is actually for the class. We just open the door for everybody else to see what we have going on. It's a good opportunity for you all to learn with us.
I sent my answers to you so I don't get embarrassed. But
now I gotta look at this one. Okay,
yeah.
Let me see.
Let's check this out. Also, we'll see what Elmer says before I throw my answer up there, because I know Elmer got this. You know, Elmer out here killing the game, so I know he got it. That's why I sent my answer first. So we're gonna see what happens.
Got you. I'm waiting for I see a lot of people are answering. Somebody asked, is that Comptia or security? It is Comptia Security Plus. Our next course is the 601, which is the newest, the latest and greatest Security Plus course. All right, everybody's answering right now. Let me give, since this is our last one, let me give, I don't want to interrupt anybody if they're brainstorming, so let me give it like 30 seconds. Bobby, I think I know why you picked the first one. You didn't. So let me walk through it too. Let me walk through it with you too, because I think I know why you picked that answer. You got to finish that. I don't want to give you the answer and tell you at the same time. How much, if you can answer that as well? Yeah, for sure. The class is $1,750. Okay, we do have payment plans available, but they're only available for a limited time. There's a 4-payment plan, a 3-payment plan option, and a 2-payment plan option, but they all have to be completed before the first day of class. And I could, let me post the website here for you so you can check that out. They are available right now if you wanted to use it. No, you don't pay for the cert separately. Somebody said, do we pay for the cert separately? No, that's bundled in your course. I'm going to give that to you on like week 8. I'll send it out to you all. I'm not going to send it to you now just in case you guys get jumpy and take the exam. We had somebody take the exam within 5 weeks of the class and he passed it. That was in Zoe's class. So yes, it comes bundled with Comptia Labs, 12-month access to Comptia Lab, official labs. It comes bundled with the voucher and the career development. You don't have to pay extra for that stuff. I don't know where people are making you pay extra for that. They shouldn't. All right, so let's go through this. And I'll answer any more questions afterwards. I got you, trust me. So you have, so for the best network protection, the placement of specialized servers and network appliances is critical. You have 2 devices to place on the network. In the graphic shown, the first router in line from the internet is also an active firewall. You have 1 device, and Bobby, this is what I was referring to. You didn't finish reading it. You have 1 device that will detect suspicious network traffic based on its configuration while issuing alerts. This same device, Bobby, This same device is intended to detect web service attacks using deep packet inspection. So that's the same device. We got one device. It's going to do some detection. What else is it doing? Deep packet inspection. It's using web services for deep packet inspection. Okay, that's one device. The second device is intended to prevent malware downloads. So we got two devices that we're looking for. Okay, so let's do it again. The first device is supposed to detect, and it's supposed to detect web service attacks using deep packet inspection. Now, which option do you think is is the best security tool? Not just which one, but what is the best security tool to detect web service attacks? Anybody and everybody. Feel free to throw it in the chat. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Wait. I'm saying yes to the right answer, and then other people are sending me the wrong answer. It's the web application firewall. Why? Because it's specific to web services. A NIDS, a lot of people are picking NIDS, network intrusion detection, because it says detect. But not every NID can do deep packet inspection on web services. WAFs can, web application firewalls, they can. That's what they were made for. That's the primary, I'm not going to say primary, but it's one of the main purposes of a WAF, is to do deep packet inspection off of web services, or to prevent web service attacks. So if this is WAF, web application firewall, where are we going to put in November 9th class? This is exactly why I said what I said 5 times. Where are we going to put the web application firewall, y'all? The web application firewall. Where should it go? Exactly. That's November 9th right there too. No, no, JJ, not up there. Look at the devices we have on this screen. Good job, Obi. We have a web application firewall. There you go. Good job. Position 4. It's going to go with the web server, right? Because we're trying to detect web service attacks. Good job. Let me clear some of this stuff off the screen. That's going to go with the web server. And let me know if it doesn't make sense as we go through this. I'll try to break it down a little bit further. The next device is supposed to prevent network malware downloads. Where, first of all, which of these is going to prevent network malware downloads? We already know it's not a NIDS because it's not preventing anything. We know what proxy servers do. JJ, you want to get? Can you help us explain what proxy servers are?
Proxy servers allow you to mask your IP going to the internet.
Okay. Perfect.
And so a gateway just a gateway is not the answer. So
Okay.
Anti-malware appliance will go in, I'm gonna say position 2.
Wow, position 2. This is a November 9th student too, y'all. I'm just throwing that out there. He's on his 4th week. He's definitely representing his class right now. So why do you say position 2, Mr. Rodwell?
Because if I'm stopping malware from getting on, how's it read? Well, if I'm stopping malware from getting onto my systems, then I need to have that device right before my my computers, my devices. I'm running out of words. But,
I got you. So you're right, though. You're absolutely right. We're going to put the anti-malware appliance on position 2. Why? Because we're trying to prevent malware downloads. Where are the downloads occurring? They're happening on workstations. They're happening on workstations. Nobody should be downloading things on LAN servers, right? Unless it's like a jump box or a bastion host, but we don't know that here. We can't add that information there. They just say LAN servers. That's it. That's it. A server can be doing so many different things. It could be a CA. It could be an Active Directory server. It can be a DHCP server, right? So, but on the workstations, these look like workstations. On these workstations, this is where end users are initiating downloads. Whether it's intentional or not, they're downloading malware too. Good job, JJ. Good job, Bobby. I saw that answer in there. Good job, good job, good job. JJ, I really wasn't expecting y'all to have this answer yet. This is not something we put together yet on week 4. This is more of a week 6 thing. So good job. Really, really pat yourself on the back. I told you got this. You're going to be hard on yourself when you're supposed to. So that's good.
You know,
That's good, man. That's all I have for y'all. Let me go through these messages. Thank you, Lorenzo, for those kind words. Thank you, Alex. We definitely do and for all the newcomers, we definitely take our time with our students. Lorenzo is not even in our class anymore. He graduated in the last wave with Alex. And, you know, me and Lorenzo were on the phone yesterday for about an hour, just going over some resume preps. We care about you all. You know, it's not a one and done thing. The goal is to get you all employed and to hear good news from you all about your accomplishments that you're going on to and different accolades. So let me see. We have, thank you for letting me usually watching YouTube pertaining to interviewing. I have a few interviews for security engineer positions and I'm looking for some help with prepping for them. What are some questions that I should be looking out for? And what is your general interview advice for roles like that? Okay, let me read that question one more time. Yes, that's the website. O-line, right? Not online. Let me read this question one more time. So I have a few interviews for security engineer positions, okay? And I'm looking for some help with prepping for them. What are some questions that I should be looking out for? And what is your general interview advice? So I'm going to do my best with this one. All right. Because security engineering is a broad position. And you may already know this, but FYI, y'all, a lot of positions or a lot of companies, they have different names for the same position. Okay, so they may call a SOC analyst, a cyber analyst, a fusion analyst, but they're all the same thing. So I'm going to go off of the generic security engineer position that I know of. So how I would attack these interviews, you're going to have to attack them differently. No interview is the same unless it's the same exact job description. How I would attack this is by looking at the job description and open up a Word document next to you. Copy and paste what the recruiters or the employers are looking for. What are the qualifications? What are the requirements? Copy and paste that into a separate Word document, and under each bullet, or as much as you can, under as many bullets as you can, you want to try and come up with an elevator pitch or a 3-minute speech, or maybe 1 minute for these, 1 minute speeches as to how you can perform or how you have done what they're looking for. If you do that, you can't go wrong in your interviews, because what you're doing is setting yourself up for success, because they may not even ask you about all of those things on the bullets. What they're definitely going to ask you is about your resume. They're going to ask you to speak about yourself. But if you take the steps I just laid out, you're preparing yourself for that. You're also preparing yourself for questions they may ask pertaining to the job, which they will. They're going to ask you technical questions. But typically, and this is something we do with our students, one-on-one actually, one-on-one time, like we did with Lorenzo the other day. You want to take the job description and you want to effectively align what you have done in the past and align what you can do and what your certifications show that you should be doing with those bullets on the job requirements or the job qualifications. Now, with security engineer positions, most of them are all about the tools. So that's why it's kind of hard for me to narrow this one down, because I don't know what tools they're using there. But you want to make sure you align yourselves with what they're expecting regarding their tools. So if it's Splunk, you may need to brush up on Splunk. If they're looking for someone who has some vulnerability management experience, or managing vulnerability servers or servers with vulnerability application, you may need to brush up on Tenable. It really all depends on the position. But that's my approach to any position out there. Take the job description, break it down, analyze it. And everybody's not going to do that. The only people who do that are the only people who want to go the extra length. Hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully. And thank you for joining us on Cyber Thursdays. Lorenzo, thank you for that invite. Yeah, and if you have any more questions, feel free to, Cyber Thursdays is the perfect opportunity to ask me questions. I'm usually an open book, as everybody already knows, and I try to do my best to help everybody. So feel free to, if you aren't on the invite list, this is the same Cyber Thursday link that we use every Thursday. Feel free to hop on. You're always welcome. So thank you everybody for joining us. Yep, the website is olinesecurity.com, not online, but Oline. And thank you everybody. Have a good night. Class, please study. Like I said, doesn't matter what class you take. If you don't study, you won't win. And everybody, please hold your loved ones, say you love them, give them a kiss if you can, and just be happy and grateful, y'all. So thank you for joining us, and y'all have a good night.
We appreciate you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Good night.
All right, y'all. Good night. That's Alonzo. I always want to come on the Zoom with the Barry White voice. Come on, man. All right, y'all. Yeah, have a good night, man.